morning, everybody. Today, we are up with another round of discussion on human health. Oral microbes not only impact our oral health, but have a downstream impact on the number of biological processes. We will be trying and understanding that how our oral hygiene affects our overall health in general, and in particular, it has a lot of impact on lifestyle diseases. It can trigger and assist in progression of obesity, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, chronic kidney diseases, dementia, colon cancer, and I can go on. Understanding the functions and genes expressed by the oral microbiome is the key. Today, we are joined by our founder, Sushant Kumar of Gene Fataletics, and his translational research team to investigate the role of oral microbiomes in systemic health. Welcome, Sushant, and give us an understanding of what we are going to discuss today.
Welcome. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for the introduction, Colonel Tarun. So just a brief for everyone. I'm the founder for Gene Fataletics. We are a biotech company. We work around understanding the functions of human microbiome in onset and progression of various diseases, right from oral disease to metabolic to cardiovascular disease, skin issues, neurodevelopmental disorders. So let me start off with okay. So again, we when it comes to oral health, we are generally, think oral health is just about our mouth or having tooth decay, cavities, or pain in our tooth, or probably sensitivities, right? And we generally do not give too much weightage to our oral health unless it's an unbearable pain and we need to visit the dentist. But over the last few years, we have found in the research that there's a lot of deep-rooted connection between your oral health and every single biological process inside the body, right? And this is what we are going to decode it today, right? I want to begin this by making an argument that oral health is the gateway for whole body health, overall health. So what happens in mouth does not stay there, but it is actually it circulates to every part inside the body. Right? It happens everywhere.
So before Sushant, we go deeper into this subject.
Yeah.
Let our audience understand the role of oral microbiome in oral health issues such as tooth decay and gum diseases.
Yeah. So let us start with the basics. So for everyone, I think a lot of people know, but for people who are not aware of it, our body is a sack of 100 trillion microbes. So they live everywhere, right from our mouth to our throat to our stomach to our small intestine, large intestine, scalp, skin, vagina, everywhere, and they hold key to our health, right? Because in terms of genes or the expression of genes, right, we microbes express around 2 to 20 million genes, while we human have around 25,000 genes which we get from our parents. So you have to think, whatever happens inside our body, microbes living there have a role to play, right? And again, the largest colonization of microbe is in the gut, right? But the most diverse is in the mouth. Right? So a lot of these bacteria or viruses and fungi and yeast living in our mouth, most of them are beneficial. Some of them are pathoboints, and a larger part of them are commensals as well, right? So they are there to help us. They are there to keep our body in a homeostatic position, right? In terms of the oral microbiome, there are around 700 species living in our mouth, right? Encompassing around 100 billion microbes, right? And whatever we eat, right, is first available for absorption, for digestion, for interaction to the microbes living in our mouth, right? And they actually pre-digest and pre-process the food, so it is made available for the folks in our enzymes and the microbes in our stomach and small intestine to digest the foods and release nutrients and beneficial, compounds which could nourish ourselves, which could help us, maintain energy, do various tasks, and a lot of these things. That's the first aspect. Second aspect is obviously it is not only about the pre-processing of food, but these microbes also release, uh, biochemical signals, and it goes at a lightning speed. So even before the food reaches the desired body organoidfied site inside your body, they are biochemical signals. So these microbes are telling a lot of body organs, including your microbiome in a gut, including your pancreas, including your heart, and telling them what is coming along and be ready for performing various things, do whatever you have to do in the body. Right? So again, depending upon what we eat, right, these microbes could, could metabolize the molecules and substrates in these foods into things which could provide us nutrients like vitamins and minerals and short chain fatty acids, or they could release harmful toxins, right? And which we call in biological terms, we call it metabolites or secondary metabolites, right? And these metabolites are what changes our expression of the genes, both human and microbial, and that's what makes us develop a lot of disease. So not only, it is linked to the gum disease, which is again an inflammation caused by these microbes living in the mouth. So microbes could release certain bad things which could trigger inflammation in the mouth, which could cause gum disease, right? Or it could also travel to other parts of the body, such as your gut. It could cause irritable bowel syndrome, colon cancer. It could via bloodstream. It can cross the blood-brain barrier, go to the brain, and do cognitive decline and cause Alzheimer's, or cause heart disease, type 2 diabetes, arthritis, kidney disease, and the list goes on. Right? So, so the microbes living in the mouth could not only cause us oral health issues, but also trigger wave of systemic health issues, which we unfortunately are not aware. And, we generally go to a dentist only when we think, this is something which we cannot bear, not a pain we cannot bear now. We need to go to a dentist to, to get implants, to get fillings, take care of cavities and all those things. Right? So that's the basic of understanding here. There's certain universally unhealthy things which you should avoid. For instance, sugar, artificial sweeteners, processed foods, which actually makes your mouth environment very acidic, and this particular acidic environment is the play. So basically, it is a breeding ground for pathogens to grow and start doing inflammatory activities in the mouth. So let us talk about a bit about science here. So we have seen, there are numerous research articles, news, and validated clinical trial which clearly establishes the connection between oral health and overall health. Right. In a recent research in Harvard Health publication, it was mentioned that the connection between mouth and body is going really stronger, as I have just shared, right? So based on our oral hygiene, based on our brushing techniques, basically flossing, scrapping, and a lot of the kind of toothbrush, toothpaste we use, the mouthwashes we use, have an impact on the environment and the composition, the function of the microbes living in a mouth. And some of these, so every day we consume or swallow around 1 to 1.5 liter of saliva, and these bacteria could move via saliva if there is a lot of wrong oral hygiene practices or eating a lot of sugary stuff or food which are not compatible with their biology. Probably it could lead to development or the activity of certain, pro-inflammatory and pathoboints, which could travel from saliva to gut, and it is these bacteria that could increase the risk of irritable bowel disease and colon cancer. Similarly, certain subbacteria such as gingivalis could trigger inflammation, which could cause leaky gums, holes, and through these leaky gums, the certain bacteria and their byproducts they produce could travel to brain and could lead to inflammation in the brain, which is one of the cause for dementia, or it could even travel to heart or could cause plague in arteries and could cause a lot of heart issues, right? On the flip side, there are certain microbes which are doing good things inside the mouth. So when we eat a lot of vegetables which are high in nitrate, green vegetables such as spinach, arugula, beetroot, and a lot of these things, these microbes could convert nitrate in these foods into nitrite, which could stimulate, production of nitric oxide. Again, nitric oxide is that beneficial gas which helps you, regulate your blood glucose level. It facilitates insulin signaling. It helps in mitochondrial biogenesis. Helps in cellular communication. It helps in regulating blood pressure, blood flow, oxygen uptake, and oxygen delivery, nutrient uptake, and nutrient delivery. So it is one of those essential gases which is involved in regulating almost 99% of biological processes. So if our oral microbiome is imbalanced, or we consuming food which is actually, creating an oral microbial dysbiosis, it could disrupt nitric oxide production and could lead to issues such as type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, erectile dysfunction, chronic kidney disease, oral cancer, colon cancer, a lot of these issues. So, in a recent research which came that, the oral microbes, the bacteria living in a mouth, have a direct connection with pancreatic cancer, which is one of the most concerning form of cancer, right? So this further establishes a deep-rooted connection between the oral microbes and a very very serious disease such as pancreatic cancer. Right. So let us discuss about some oral statistics here in India, right? So as per Indian Dental Association, recently a research came that 9 out of 10 adults suffer from a major oral health problem. It means that 9 out of 10 people have some or other sort of oral or chronic health condition, right? And we are already dealing with these diseases. The only thing is we do not know because a lot of these indications are never measured or identified with the current set of routine diagnostic tests. So more than 76% of the people have cavities or at the risk of developing them, right? Now coming to brushing, again, it is one of the most important aspects. We are always told, that you should brush twice a day. You should brush once in the morning and once before sleeping. But in a recent research, it was found that only up to 45% of the Indians brush twice a daily. It means that more than 50% of people just brush once, and again that is a concerning issue because people who do not brush thoroughly or brush properly or brush only once, research has found that it increases the risk of various forms of cancer, including oral cancer, colorectal cancer, breast cancer, pancreatic cancer, lung cancer. Right? Even the spent on oral disease in India is very, very, very minimal when we compare with US, right? So that is again a cause of concern. So we don't spend more than 8 to 10 rupees. That's a kind of money we spend versus $370 in US, right? So almost one third of the people have, high consumption of sugar, and that's again a very important aspect in terms of the oral health, because when we consume sugar or sugary stuff or processed food or artificial sweeteners, it makes our oral environment very acidic, and it creates a situation where pathogens can attack our cells in our mouth, our gums, our tissues, our teeth, everything. Uh, and again, only 4.5% of the people visit a dentist, right? Which is again, we should actually regularly get our tooth checked, at least once in 2 months, right? All again, one third of people are consuming tobacco in various forms, whether it's smoking or other forms of tobacco consumption, which is again in the higher risk of oral cancer, right? And that's the kind of money economy is losing because of oral diseases, around 7.2 billion US dollars. So some of the more alarming statistics, this is globally applicable, right? So there is a 12% higher risk of uh, pregnant female giving preterm births who have gum disease, periodontal disease, right? Similarly, people who have gum disease more than 10 years have 70% likely chance to develop Alzheimer's, right? And again, there's a two-way relationship between gum disease and diabetes. So people who have gum disease have type 2 diabetes and vice versa, right? Again, as I mentioned, people who have a compromised oral health, who do not brush regularly, have an more than 50% chance of developing various forms of cancer, right? And again, there is a higher risk of adverse pregnancy outcomes, including miscarriages in case of females having, pregnant females, expecting female having bad oral health. We will discuss a bit about the current oral hygiene practices, right? And if anyone have questions, probably we can take up the questions post the presentation, right? Most of the oral care products, what we are using in the market, 99.9%, whether it's toothpaste, mouthwash, they are actually doing exactly opposite of what they are actually have to do. Like they're disrupting the oral microbiome, they are creating an imbalance in our oral microbiome, they're leading to, excellent activity of pathogens, they are creating an acidic environment, things such as fluoride in toothpaste, which is really highly acidic in nature, right? It is not remineralizing our saliva. Again, saliva is an ecosystem or bouquet of various minerals which our teeth needs for proper functioning, which our gum needs for proper functioning. And again, because of these oral products, we are not getting teeth remineralized, right? A lot of these things are causing dry mouth, right? Again, they do not boost saliva production because a lot of these things are harmful chemicals which disrupts the calcium content also inside the mouth. And for example, fluoride disrupts the sleep, it impacts IQ in children, it is a neurotoxin, it impacts neurological issues, and almost 99.9% of the toothpaste have fluoride in it, right? You buy any toothpaste from the market, you'll find fluoride, right? So again, one of the aspect is mouth breathing. Again, mouth breathing should not be done because it actually impacts your saliva, it causes to drying of mouth, and it disrupts your oral microbiome.
So Sushant, we come to another question.
Yeah.
That would be plaguing most of the listeners right now, or the people, those who are on this particular call.
Yeah.
Is that what we understood is that standard oral health products are deteriorating our oral health.
Yeah.
So what factors one should consider while buying a toothpaste? That's one of the basic products that we use every day in the morning. Some people use it twice a day.
Yeah. So I'm coming into that because again, that's and misconception what we think that everything in the toothpaste is good, and that's why we did a research last month on this, and we had very very astonishing results. I'm going to share that. Right. So coming on rightly, you hit the nail rightly, toothpaste, right? So that is the first aspect we should consider, right? So what does our toothpaste have right now, right? There's a lot of artificial sweeteners in the toothpaste, whether it is, aspartame or parabens, a lot of these things, right? So artificial sweeteners, we all know it makes your pancreas releases insulin, but there's no glucose to be metabolized, so probably you become insulin intolerant, you develop type 2 diabetes. Like SLS again, sodium lauryl sulfate is a detergent. It is used to give your toothpaste a foamy sort of structure, right? But this is causes ulcer in your mouth. This actually impacts your gums issues, right? It is also an endocrine disruptor. So you could have hormonal imbalances due to consuming SLS daily, right? Again, fluoride is not found in body. It is 50, 60 years ago, dentists thought that, fluoride, because of fluoride, there was less tooth decay. So it was put on toothpaste, it was put in municipal water supplies, and fluoride is a neurotoxin. It disrupts your sleep. It shut down your melatonin production, right? It interferes your nitric oxide production again, which is one of the reasons why we have type 2 diabetes uh, and identify symptoms of chronic cardiovascular disease, right? Again, fluoride is really acidic, so it changes your pH in your mouth. It causes an environment, acidic environment, and which leads to further oral discomfort. Chlorohexidine, which again is normally found in a lot of toothpaste, elevates your blood pressure level, right? Uh, Parabens is something which really impacts your children. So children do have to decay much before the adults, right? And also because paraben leads to drying of mouth, and it leads to eczema and sort of asthma in children, right? Again, propylene glycol is one of the most harmful toxin. It impacts your nervous system. It impacts your uh, kidney, liver, and even causes bad breath, right? So these are the normal ingredients which we generally found in toothpaste, right? And which is really concerning, because we did our research and we found that 84.7% of the people buy toothpaste based on the ingredients. It means that we believe fluoride and all these unnatural chemicals being put inside our toothpaste are good, which is not, right? So that is the reason why we have a lot of these metabolic issues, digestive issues, autoimmune issues, right? So that is again, fluoride, as I mentioned, is an antiseptic, antimicrobial, is a neurotoxin, disrupts our sleep, reduces melatonin levels. It imbalances the oral microbiome, again, which has a downstream impact on various health issues. It disrupts your thyroid function. So you can have hypothyroidism when you're consuming fluoride, and you may not know the reason, right? So interferes with the remineralization, right? And obviously it impacts nitric oxide production, impairs glucose tolerance. So what should be a part of toothpaste, right? Which is again something which is really important to discuss, right? So as our body, our teeth also need minerals. So whenever we eat something, it demineralizes, and then we again have to remineralize the teeth, right? And again, remineralization is done by saliva, which is again it is a container for a lot of minerals, including magnesium, manganese, phosphorus, zinc, copper, right? Uh, so to boost the saliva production, we need calcium, and hydroxyapatite is nothing but calcium. It boosts your saliva production. It helps in remineralization. So hydroxyapatite should be a part of our toothpaste. It should replace fluoride for sure, right? There are not many toothpaste companies working on hydroxyapatite sort of technology right now, but there are a couple of companies coming in India, right? Again, CoQ10 is something. So these are certain uh, vitamins and minerals our body need for remineralizing, like vitamin D, K, C, E. Xanthan is again a sort of prebiotic. We need iron, we need magnesium, we need a lot of polyphenols and antioxidants. So specifically when we have bad breath, we have a lot of cavities issues, tooth pain, toothache, right? So it is all an indication of imbalance or microbiome. Probably we're taking too much of high consumption of protein diet, or high consumption of sugary or other sweeteners. So we need a lot of these polyphenols that feed this microbiome to produce lot of beneficial things inside the mouth. Right? Again, brushing, as I mentioned, you have to brush at least twice daily, right? That is a no negotiation. that is a no-brainer that we have to do it, right? And again, 2 minutes we have to brush in every corner inside our mouth, right? You could also use electronic brushes, but electronic brushes, the benefit is only is the timer, so you have to keep a 2 minute timer and do it. Or if you can use 2 minute, you can brush 2 minutes using your normal brush, then you don't need an electronic brush, right? Uh, so again, a lot of these question comes: should you brush before or after breakfast, right? So when we eat at night, probably there's a lot of plaque buildup inside the mouth, which can cause cavities. So to brushing before the breakfast could remove those plaques, right? And it can help. It also helps in coating your better in your mouth, which prevents from acidic environment. So if you're consuming some carbohydrates or sugary stuff, right, in the morning, the breakfast, or maybe some sort of cereals, and which are processed, probably brushing before the breakfast really makes sense, right? 50% the higher risk, obviously I've described that there's a high risk of, you know, developing cancer if there's a poor oral hygiene. So again, toothpaste could cause type 2 diabetes, your cancer situation, cardiovascular disease, and a lot of other issues, right? Again, I wanted to press upon a bit about hydroxyapatite, right? And hydroxyapatite, again, it's a calcium is naturally found inside our body, 97% enamel, 70% dentin, and 67% bone is made up of hydroxyapatite, right? It boosts saliva, right? It helps in remineralization. Again, it is really beneficial for teeth for doing our various functions in our mouth, right? It aids in remineralization. It regulates your pH level because the critical pH level for hydroxyapatite is 5.5 and for chloride is 4.5, right? So again, if you're taking toothpaste with high in fluoride, it's going to create an acidic environment and it's going to lead to growth of pathogens. Right? Again, it balances the oral microbiome, right? So in a recent research, it was said that up to 10% of the weight in a toothpaste having hydroxyapatite should have at least 10% of the weight, right? And that's really beneficial. That could be, the vitamin, minerals, and polyphenols, and a lot of these antioxidants, which really helps, right? So hydroxyapatite is the backbone of the oral health, right? So again, flossing also important part. We should do once a day. It helps you remove the food particles, which where your brush cannot reach, right? So again, you should floss first and then brush. It supports your gum health. So flossing is really important, but do not use hard electronic flosser. It could actually impact your it can to bleeding gums. It can impact your. So again, tongue scraping is not a lot of people do tongue scraping, and again, it is essential because it removes all the food particles which your flossing or brushing may have missed, or it also removes the food particle and certain bacteria from the tongue so that you have fresh breath and everything, right? And again, tongue scraping should be done twice a day, right? So again, in India, a lot of I'm not sure how many people do tongue scraping. Uh, Hydration. Okay, water. Water is really important. Our body is made up of water, right? And water is considered as natural mouthwash, right? It regulate it reflects your acidic environment. It washes away food particles and it obviously promotes saliva production. So saliva is really, really important for mineralization. So we need to drink a lot of water, right? Again, mouthwash. Okay, so this is really, really important because if you buy any mouthwash, even including Listerine, they mention that we kill 99.9% of germs, right? But obviously, we know we need those bacteria inside our mouth to do various beneficial biological processes. So mouthwash disrupts your oral microbiome, it sucks up the nitric oxide production. It increases your blood pressure, increases your risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes. It further makes the environment more acidic and leads to drying of mouth. So mouthwash should not be part of your oral hygiene practices. Yeah, so Kanal Tarun, this is a basics about oral microbiome, why it is important, why oral hygiene is important, what we should consider. So next section, what we will be discussing, how we at Gene Fit Genetics are actually solving it. there's any questions up till now, I'll be happy to take.
But there is one thing that we call mouthwash as the antibiotic of mouth.
Yeah.
Why is
Yeah.
it so?
Because it does the same thing what antibiotics does in a gut, right? So when we take antibiotics, it kills around 70% bacteria. Similarly, mouthwash kills almost every bacteria in the mouth, right? When you do not have bacteria, we cannot, regulate our oral biology. We don't have nutrients. There is an disruption in the microbiome human interaction. There is a disruption in cellular signaling. There's no biochemical signals. Pancreas, know what to do. So there's a hell of issues which come. So mouthwash is a complete no. You have to have bacteria in your mouth. You don't have to kill the bacteria.
So as we are taking the questions side by side, so Krish is asking that which toothpaste would you recommend?
Okay, so I'm using right now Fang, Fang. I don't endorse a brand, but I'm just sharing what I recommend, what I use. So Fang, Fang has a lot of hydroxyapatite. There is no SLS, there is no fluoride, there is no artificial, no paraben, nothing, no bad chemicals. So Fang is good to go, and it also has certain Ayurvedic elements and as well as certain beneficial vitamins and minerals.
So if we are using Neem Datun, how good that would be?
So again, depends if it has fluoride, right? Or if it has any of the artificial sweeteners, then it should not be used.
Okay. But Neem
Yes.
Datun is a naturally available
Yeah,
thing.
but we have to check the ingredients also. If there are some ingredients which are these harmful chemicals, then probably it is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So by having neem datum doesn't mean it is really Ayurveda. Right? You have to see each and every ingredients, how much of each ingredient is there. Even coming to another important thing which I think I forgot to mention, right? So hydroxyapatite also is something we have to see in which form it is being put in the toothpaste, because in toothpaste we need a liquid form, what we call is nanohydroxyapatite. What is the size and shape of that, how it is manufactured, so a lot of things, right? So that's why you have to also see the quality control check of these toothpaste, because a lot of such toothpaste may be coming in there, but they're using hydroxyapatite powder instead of liquid, which may not do well, right? Essentially we need to have a small size. It's like it's very like big size, and it is processed and cut in small size and put in liquid, right? So
Absolutely. The
yeah.
only reason why I asked you about Neem
Mhm.
Datun was
Mhm.
one of the viewer is also asking about it. Firstly, it
Mhm.
is naturally available. It is
Mhm.
prescribed in our Ayurveda and all those things. In fact, a lot of people earlier days when we were youngsters, we used to find they used to go for morning walk and they will
Mhm.
take a
Yeah.
twig from a tree, neem tree, and while
Okay.
they were walking, there will be something akin to brushing their teeth they would be doing.
Mhm.
And those days, people never would visit uh, all these, no, dentist and
Mhm.
all those things.
Mhm.
The reason for visiting these people was because most of the things, as you're bringing it out, Shushant,
Mhm.
they were naturally available.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
So even at Gene Fitletics, we are trying to help people that they should use whatever the God has provided us, which is
Mhm.
naturally available,
Yeah.
and it can act as a medicine to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So another
Actually.
question that comes to my mind is that how
Mhm.
pH level of the food impacts the microbiome functions.
Okay. Yeah. So what happens is that you know just a second. Yeah. So again, there are acidic foods, there are alkaline food. If you Google it, probably I can share that list also, which foods are high, are really low in or more acidic, or which are alkaline, which are neutral, right? For instance, in terms of the let's talk about lemon, right? again, we generally say it's vitamin C, it's really good for the immune system, but lemon is really, really acidic, right?
Hmm.
So if you're taking too much of lemon daily, you are probably putting lemon daily. Particularly in summers, we think, okay, good. We don't take, these beverages like Pepsi and everything, which is really, really as so all these which are beverages such as diet soda, diet coke, which are really, really acidic. So it changes the pH level, reduces the pH level to acidic again. When the acidic pH level, it becomes the breeding ground for pathogens inside your mouth, right? So P. gingivalis could grow, they could start doing inflammation. You would have leaky gums. They would move to other places inside your brain, cross the blood-brain barrier, and it could start triggering inflammation elsewhere, everywhere, right? So, so again, the issue is that we do not have to take too much. We have to maintain the pH level, which should be around between 6.4 to between 6.4 to 7 actually, right? And even remineralization, it starts when your pH level reaches 5.5, right? So once it crosses 5.5, so if you don't have that pH level, you cannot remineralize your teeth. So there is a tooth
So,
decay and
so Sushant, this gives food for thought. When we
Mhm.
go out to eat or whatever we do, or even when we are feeling thirsty, so
No.
first thing that we order is a lemonade,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
the
Or
second thing
soda.
when we, or a soda.
Yeah.
Or other thing is that we go to a restaurant and then we'll say, okay, Starbucks virgin mojito.
Mm, mm,
So these
mm.
are all things which have acidic nature,
Yeah,
and they would ultimately lead to the imbalance in the pH level in the mouth and
yeah,
would act as breeding grounds for bacteria.
yeah. And from a acidic perspective also, first thing is please avoid having fluoride in toothpaste because the fluoride in toothpaste means your toothpaste is acidic because the critical pH for fluoride is 4.5, right? And it's similar to you eating every day maybe 20 grams of sugar. Because sugar again your bacteria in your mouth convert sugar into acidic acids, right? Again, which causes an acidic environment, right? And that is one of the reasons why we recommend we should not consume sugar, right? Even 1 or 2 grams could produce acid in the mouth, which makes your oral pH level acidic, right? So so again, that is a cause of concern, right? So probably I'll share a bit following the presentation. I'll share a bit more about it when we come into the kind of food we should eat, right?
Yes.
Right. So again, let me share a bit of what we do. So we are actually study the functions of the microbes at a molecular level, what molecules they are secreting when they're interacting with the food, oral hygiene, or the other body organs, right? And how these byproducts produced by oral microbes, we generally, convert into various pathways, right? We measure your pathways, right? So essentially, we could tell you how these are actually helping you, giving you health or giving you disease, right? And again, how we arrive at food recommendations, what kind of food you should eat, what you should minimize, what you should avoid, what specific amino acid food exactly, probiotic supplements you need, in what quantity, that is something what we precisely do for you. So we approach a system biology approach. So currently, the current healthcare model, what we see is a reductionist biology. So everywhere we treat every body organ separately, right? So we have a diabetologist, we have a gastroenterologist, we have an oncologist, right? So by the nature of how the healthcare system is developed, we are actually focused on treating every body organ separately, which is wrong because everything is connected, right? And again, second thing, most of the companies or probably anyone, I mean, doctor, if you have a disease, probably you have a hypertension, people say, oh, you have bad genes, right? There's nothing called genes, right? Because your genes remain the same, right? So what we focus on epigenetics, we focus on, what those microbes or genes expressed by microbes are doing inside the body rather than just what genes are there, right? So again, we have built this complete data-driven system biology platform, which is backed by more than 30,000 plus clinical scientific literature, right? Which becomes a backbone of our platform where we collect your biological data or molecular data, we convert into various pathways, right? We do not just focus on which bacteria is there, but we also focus on what specific metabolites they are producing, what pathways they are activating, how they are interacting with the microbes, how they are interacting with the body. Right? So we have the largest food ontology database where we have a database of 30,000 plus food molecules, right? So we map every single molecule, every single food, and then we try to, mathematically align them with every pathway for every individual, where we could tell them, what food or what specific food substrate may be good or bad for you, right? So here, there is no scope for nutritionists or biotechnologists. It's completely data-driven, unsupervised. We use the mathematical formula and machine learning to actually uh, personalized nutrition as medicine. So, you don't need a human individual to tell you what you should eat, what you should not, right? Again, it's a proactive approach. We do not believe in reactive medicine, do not believe in waiting for disease to happen and then we give you something to just manage the disease, right? So again, from a healthcare practitioner perspective, there are also a separate platform for healthcare practitioner where we could help them, understand or probably get all these pathways and disease prediction indications for their patients who go undergo other gut or microbiome frequent solution. Right? So we could, using these molecule level pathways, we could identify these disease signals which would never show up in your routine diagnostic test. Right? So you could actually understand whether you're moving towards the way of a disease, and how you can actually reverse the situation, but just by nutrition. Right? So that's how we collect your biological sample in case of oral microbe, which is your saliva, right? We collect around 5 million of molecular data points, right? Molecules, 5 million RNA molecules again. We translate into biological functions, we process that data to convert into various registration data points. And then again, we recombine them mathematically to convert into various pathways, right? These pathways tell the state of your biology at a molecular level, what is going on, what is happening inside the body, right? And then again, we marry them with the food ontology, which is again 30,000 plus molecules. So we don't operate in a foods, so-called food space. So, we generally see if you're taking broccoli, we would see various food molecules in broccoli, how each of the food molecules aligns with each of these pathways, right? Which we have derived from your biological data and from your, from sequencing your RNA molecules. So in a typical pathway, for instance, you're taking soybean. Soybean has polyamines and puts and all these compounds. There are certain microbes which could, consume or eat up these polyamines and tryptophan, cativan and convert into tryptophan, which is again one of the biomarker for bad breath, right? So it increases the risk of halitosis, right? So if you are certain, we could see if you have certain bacteria active of converting polyamine into tryptophan, probably soybean may not come in your superfood, or enjoy it may come in your moderate or avoid it based on what is the activity level of that particular microbes. Right? Again, halitosis again is an early sign of chronic kidney disease and even oral cancer. Right? That is not something you can get rid of just by using a mouthwash or just by having a mint toothpaste. Okay. So again, that is how our food recommendation model works, right? So we come with your pathway scores. In case of oral we come with 26 biochemical pathways. Each of these pathways, we marry with these food substrates and molecules. We also tell you which food is going to spike your insulin and before you consume it. So that's a inbuilt machine learned model we have built where we could predict the insulin response to 317 foods. Again, you don't, so we are obviating the need of CGM. We don't know CGM, probably it is inbuilt in our model based on your molecular pathways, right? And again, when we map them, we could tell you what your specific superfoods are, what dry foods are, what moderates are, what avoids are, what quantity you should consume, what frequency you should consume, what specific vitamin mineral your body needs right now, what quantity, what amino acid you need, what food extract you need, what prebiotic probiotics you need. That is very unique for your biology. So this is not something, and he would be able to tell you in terms of just by blood work or just by having a normal way of categorizing food as protein, carbs, and fats, right? So we'll look at every single of 30,000 molecule and how they interact with 26 pathways. So it's a huge data churning, data mining which happens at the back end of our model. So again, benefits of how foods impact your oral health, right? So if you are eating food which are high in sugar or very high in protein, which are high in ammonia outputs, and it could lead to bad breath. So probably we give you that particular food subset which actually reduces your bad breath, which promotes nitric oxide, for instance. Food which are high in nitrate, such as spinach, arugula, which uh, could produce nitrate, convert nitrate into nitrate and could produce nitric oxide, right? So we focus on reducing your or probably eliminating the acidic pH level and balancing the oral pH level, suppressing the inflammatory activity so that we don't have gum disease, we don't have parental disease, and we do not have onset of other, cardiovascular or neurodegenerative issues, right? There are certain bacteria which could eat mucin in your mouth, again, the saliva in your mouth, and that could lead to dry mouth and a lot of these things. So probably we provide an alternate source of energy for these mucin degradation bacteria which could strengthen your gum lining again. When we suppress your pro-inflammatory activities, we could actually stop leaky gums, and leaky gum is situation where these bacteria and the metabolites secreted by them could move from mouth to other places such as brain or heart or maybe your gut, and could cause inflammatory responses which could lead to various chronic health issues, including cardiovascular disease, including Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, autism, and even IBD and cancer, right? Again, our food regulate your insulin response to food, so it makes sure your blood sugar level is not much spiked, so you could actually have a better control over your metabolic health, right? And again, uh, the it could also reduce plaque by actually balancing your oral pH levels. When there's a lot of oxidative stress, probably you are taking a lot of fats which are high in polyunsaturated, for instance, canola oil which are high in polyunsaturated, which is high in omega-6, so it could lead to oxidative stress. So supplements could eliminate oxidative stress by giving you certain polyphenols, flavonoids, or antioxidants, right? Similarly, we could reduce gum inflammation by giving you food which promotes the function of beneficial bacteria. It could again, it impacts your immune functions, it balances your oral pH level, and also minimizes inflammation. Uh, so that's all what we have right now.
So, Sushant,
Um,
before we end this
mm,
conversation on the oral hygiene or the impact of maintaining good oral hygiene,
yeah,
there is
yeah,
something that comes to my mind, and that is we are nowadays hearing a lot about prebiotics and probiotics.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
do they have a role to play in improving oral health care?
Yeah, so it's a very preliminary in India right now, right? Because again, it's good you have touched this topic, because this is really, really important to understand that, when it comes to probiotics, right? What happens in case of probiotics is that every single species, so probiotics is nothing but, a live organism. So the definition by International Scientific Association for Prebiotics and Probiotics is that, you know, any live organism, when administered in adequate amount, confer a health benefit to the host, right? So again, the organism has to be live, and again, every species would have different strains, and every strains would have different impact on the body. It will activate different pathways, right? So essentially, first of all, we need to understand what is the activity level, or what pathways are being activated, and what specific strain I need for what specific pathways, right? Unfortunately, a lot of probiotic being sold in India right now are OTC. Do not consider your unique biology. Do not consider strain. They generally focus on species level, right? And again, there is not much research and clinical trials around the probiotics on Indian gut or Indian oral ecosystem. Again, from an oral microbiome perspective, obviously, probiotics could help, but again, there's a lot of research required, so we would not recommend to buy any OTC probiotics for your oral health, right? But because it may help you rebalance uh, your oral microbiome. But from an oral microbiome perspective, what I would say, nitric oxide is a natural prebiotic for your oral microbiome, right? So again, nitric oxide is that gas that is uh, produced, inside our body. Again, there are a lot of oral microbes is responsible for producing this because, you know, there are two pathways to produce nitric oxide actually. One is through endothelial cell where the certain enzymes convert L-arginine into nitric oxide. But again, that pathway becomes less and less efficient as we age, right? So the oral microbiome becomes more and more important. So nitric oxide regulates your oral health. It's a vasodilator, so it regulates your blood pressure. It makes sure the blood is flowing to every body organ. It makes sure oxygen uptake and delivery is there, nutrient uptake and delivery is there. It ensures cellular signaling. It is the way how cells communicate. Even during COVID, right? People who had, probably who had COVID had deficient nitric oxide production. So even people who died due to COVID, even after putting the oxygen, right? Because oxygen delivery of oxygen, hemoglobin cannot deliver oxygen until there is nitric oxide, right? So it is one of those essential prebiotics which can impact. Even there are companies in US who are building such prebiotics to treat and cure Alzheimer's using nitric oxide as a supplement, right?
Okay.
So again, nitric oxide, if you are taking a lot of, if you have acidity, you are taking a lot of PPIs, antacids, which shut down your stomach acid production, it disrupts your nitric oxide production. Or if you are taking statins, which further cause interfere with the nitric oxide production. So these pharmaceutical approaches are actually impacting your nitric oxide production, and it is one of the most important, prebiotic for your oral biology. And eat a lot of green vegetables. This is the only way. Eat a lot of polyphenols, right? Flavonoids, green tea, catechins. So a lot of these beneficial polyphenols and flavonoids and nitrate is really, really great for nitric oxide. I
Okay,
think
Sushant,
Radhika,
yeah, Radhika has one question. So, Radhika, please go ahead.
Thank you, Colonel Tarun. So you were talking about leaking gums, and now you were talking about COVID.
Yeah.
I have developed this symptom post-COVID where I used to get that taste of blood when I get up in the morning, or while brushing my teeth, I would see blood every time I spit out.
Yeah.
It was, but then of course I went to a dentist and they gave me some ointments, asked me to do some massaging of my gums and all of that.
Yeah.
But I off and on still have this symptom, so much so that at times all of a sudden one odd gum will swell up. I get up there will be few days when I don't have this taste in my mouth when I get up.
Yeah.
But then there will be days when I will again have this taste in my mouth when I get up, and one of my tooth started shaking. Probably it has kind of there's a gap which has formed between my teeth. What does one do to take care of all of this?
So first thing is again, this is a situation of compromised oral health and the situation of poor oral hygiene. So obviously you should first relooking at what toothpaste you use, whether you're using, if you're not using mouthwash, it is good, right? Probably the symptom says that you have very low nitric oxide production, so probably you should look at eating a lot of polyphenols, and thankfully we have in summers we have a lot of, like, mango is having a lot of polyphenols. Melon, watermelon are really great source of polyphenols. Green tea is a great source of polyphenols, right? So these could help rebalance your oral microbiome and could prevent sort of harmful activities. A complete no to sugar, a complete no to artificial sweeteners, a complete no to sodas, carbonated drinks, eating outside, have change your cooking oil, probably take cooking oil which is high in monounsaturated fats. Right? For instance, olive oil is good. You could use ghee also to some extent. but
I
in
only
moderate.
use desi ghee for my cooking. I don't use anything else for my
Yeah,
cooking.
but do not overheat it, or probably do not take too much of ghee, because again it
Of
could
course.
lead to bile acid metabolism further with other issues, right? So ideally, what I could see is the nitric oxide deficiency. So take a lot of these green vegetables, spinach. I'm not sure spinach is available right now. So whatever green vegetables is right now,
Hmm.
you could consume, right? Beetroot, you could see beetroot juice, you could consume, right? So these are a few things you should focus on, right? What I could say probably, and change your toothpaste, right? And probably do these and see the change, and probably once visit a dentist, right? You can show what you can. Ointment is just a way of masking a problem that could, but it's not a solution. Right?
What is the kind of
We lost you.
You're not
toothpaste
audible.
that
Could you repeat that, Radhika? Radhika, if we are not able to hear you,
Yeah.
not able to hear you. Can you type your question? Sushant, while Radhika is typing her question or probably trying to make,
There's
there is another question that has come from Krish. He's
yeah.
asking how important is oil? Yeah, Radhika.
my situation? Or would you recommend?
So I would strongly recommend, as I said, start using Fang, FANG, right? You could find that, and probably there's another one. I'm not sure if it's being delivered in India, but that's a costly one, so I would not recommend because I have not used it. Fang, I'm using it, so I could recommend. There's another called Revitin, which is again a patented toothpaste being manufactured in US by a renowned dentist. So the cost of it is a bit high. It's 1,000 rupees tube, one tube. So probably you could look at Fang. Fang is a good starting point.
Okay.
I will mention here Fang. Revitin.
So, okay. So I hope that helps, Radhika.
Thank you so much. Yes, it
Thank you.
does.
Thank you. No problem.
Okay, so the question that I was asking you, Sushant, was that how important is oil swishing,
Mhm.
especially coconut oil for oral hygiene? Does it
Okay.
help in producing nitric oxide?
No, so again, oil switching, oil pulling is a way of you may use as an alternative to flossing, right? So it's a sort of something is stuck in your mouth, food particle, which is causing fluid, it could cause. But again, you have to spit it out, you can't drink it. But it has nothing to do with the nitric oxide production via oil pathway, right? Because again, it's a fat, it's a good fat, or coconut oil, you could use it for cooking as well, right? But from a switching perspective, you have to actually, spit it, and I would recommend better use water for flossing or some other flosser which is coming, right? Rather than just using oil. So there's not much research on the beneficial impact of oil pulling as of
Okay, so that's all for the questions which are there.
now. Any other questions? No questions as of now? No.
No, I don't see any questions.
Okay.
So what I feel is that people had a fair amount of idea as to how
Mhm.
oral microbiome helps in maintaining the overall health, and more importantly, what are the detractors and where they should be focusing in order to ensure that they maintain a good oral hygiene. Brushing teeth, use of mouthwash, prebiotics, probiotics, oil, people having certain issues with bad breath, certain
Mhm.
habits that they have developed over the years, what kind of toothpaste one should use. Most of us, we are using things which are marketed easily and available over the counter.
Yeah.
Most of the
Uh,
things which are available over the counter, they may not be doing the right justice to your health, and probably we are ignorant about the harmful effects of most of these.
I think there's another question by
Yeah.
Nivedita.
So how
So
serious
yeah,
is the issue of dry mouth?
yeah, it's actually really, really serious. It is an early sign of a lot of systemic health issues in the mouth. Dry mouth is probably if you have a dry mouth, you have taking a lot of these artificial sweeteners and bad chemicals, which is again disruptive your endocrine function also. So again, another important point is nitric oxide is found in endocrine gland. So it plays a key role in regulation various hormone production inside the body as well, including testosterone, right? So including thyroid and testosterone. So probably, dry mouth is an indication of deficient nitric oxide production, is an indication of compromised oral microbiome, and it should be dealt with seriously. Please change your toothpaste immediately as quickly as possible. Yeah.
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, it was really wonderful to have you on a Sunday morning, given out your time to understand that nature has given us almost everything. Unfortunately, our medical system is skewed in certain ways where we are made to understand our body in silos or each and every body part, but somewhere we are all interconnected.
Yeah.
And that is why I have seen, and we have all been through a lot of ups and downs in a life where people have uh, given up their lives while fighting cancer. And most of the people, they did not die because they were not having the will to fight, but they died because the medications, the chemotherapy, the kind of things, steroids that they were being subjected to had a negative effect on their overall health. And most of the people, they were subjected to something called as multi-organ failure, because something got spiked up somewhere and the doctor was trying to put it down, and then some to in order to leverage that, something else got spiked up somewhere, and finally he was playing like moving the chess pieces on a checkerboard. Our
Yeah.
life is very complex, but at the same time, God has given us a lot of things which are naturally available. I would like Sushant, there would be a lot of people who would be interested in reaching out to you, probably when they would be thinking as to the kind of conversation that we had. So how can they reach out to you or to Gene Fitletics?
The best way is to write to us at support@genefitredis.com. Let me write it here. Just a second. I'll write it.
They can also reach out. You can find us on genefitletics.com.
Yeah, you can find us there, or you could also follow. You can search Gene Fitletics on YouTube. You could also find more insightful conversations around various aspects of our health. Right? You could just search Gene Fitletics on YouTube. You'll find our channel, and we are very active on LinkedIn and on YouTube. So probably you could find a lot of these things, right? And I've shared our email. So for any questions, please do reach out to us. Right? We'll be happy to help in the best way we can.
And we do not charge anything when we are answering your queries, even if it is on an email. Our purpose in life, our passion in life is that we should be all leading a healthy life, irrespective of whatever we have gone through. That is most important. And if we can understand, जैसे हमारी नानी दादी बोलती थी कि इंसान की ज्यादातर प्रॉब्लम्स उसके पेट से शुरू होती हैं. So if we can decipher the gut microbiome, and because 75% of the same microbiomes are present in our mouth, so oral hygiene equally is important for us to understand. And if we can understand this ecosystem together, I think we'll be able to understand that why we are falling sick, why something is not happening the way it is supposed to happen, and we will be able to take corrective actions without popping a pill, without doing a lot of things. Because have you seen animals? They don't pop most of the pills. It is only the pet animals for which you have a lot of things, or domesticated animals for which we have veterinary doctors. And the same medicine that we are consuming is being given out to them in different portions or different measures. There is no other difference. So God has created us in this particular ecosystem where we can look after ourselves in a very natural way. At Gene Fitletics, we want you to understand your microbiology and take appropriate actions by improving your nutrition, dietary habits, and voila, most of your problems are now sorted.
Yeah. You're so right. And probably another thing, just before parting, I would like to mention, so people who haven't metabolic disorder who are pre-diabetic or are resorting to CGMs for tracking their blood glucose level. Probably the two things which is really important to note. The nitric oxide produced inside the mouth impacts your sugar response. It is a signal for a particular protein that regulates your insulin response inside your body that can help you overcome type 2 diabetes. So these things, your toothpaste, the impact which is happening by toothpaste at a molecular level of fluoride, at a molecular level of probably taking antacids and a lot of these medicines which are disrupting your nitric oxide production will never come up in your CGMs and you may not know why you have type 2 diabetes. So do take care of your oral health because that's the top of the digestive tube, right? So digestion starts from the mouth, not from the small intestine, right? And that's something we should you know understand. Yeah.
And Sushant, a lot of people are curious about why name Gene Fitletics.
Okay. So again, it's breaking down in genes. Genes again, we study the expression of the genes, right? Fit is obviously we came to be healthy and fit, and then third part is analytics. So how we are using. So again, we have to work on data because healthcare is all about the data we collect from your biology. And again, most of the data collected right now is at the healthcare delivery data, which is the post-mortem biological process. We focus on the molecule data in terms of what molecules are being secreted inside your body, right? At the molecular level, which will never show up, or the outcome which will never show up, or probably those molecules cannot be decoded by the normal protein diagnostic tests. Right. So the idea is to analyze these molecules and tell you whether you are going to develop a disease or not, and if yes, when. Right, and how you can eliminate these molecules well beforehand so that you don't, do not even have a disease.
Okay, with that, I think it's time for us to wrap it up. If there are still any more questions, you can reach out to us at support@genefitletics.com. You can visit our website, genefitletics.com, where you will find our contact numbers. You can reach out to us through mobile. You can email us. You can reach out to us in numerous ways. And you can address any query, any health problem that is plaguing you, or your near and dear ones are not finding any solutions for that. Probably with Gene Fitletics, you will have something that nobody else has to offer, because we are addressing the healthcare in a very different manner. We are trying to correlate the healthcare with your molecular data. We are not trying to give you what the doctor is offering you. We are trying to make you understand your health the way God created it, and by understanding the millions of microbiomes which are present in your gut. I hope this particular session was informative. You had a lot of value that you could derive out of it. And thank you, Sushant, for sharing such valuable insights. I'm pretty sure people would have gone with a lot of things to ponder over, and probably now they would be scratching the surface to understand that where my health or the health of my loved ones is getting affected. Any parting thoughts?
Just that, do not fall for medicine. It should not be even the last resort, right? Try to understand the signals your body is giving you. Try to understand, what your body is trying to tell. The first, and this is the quote I always say, uh, anything which is made in factory, please throw it off. Anything which is made in farm, please feed that to your body so that you can feed your cells with the right nourish yourself with the right nutrients so that it can keep you healthy and alive.
Well, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are wrapping it up. It was great having you on this show. Hope you're taking some valuable lessons about your health and how Gene Fitletics can make a world of difference to you. Till next time, ciao. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you.